Well, hey, it's Thanksgiving week, and so for this episode of Cooking with Chris, I'm going to talk about something that is really, really important, and it is how to cook a turkey. Now, you can look this stuff up online, and at the end of the video, I'm going to give you some links that you can go and find out how to make sure the turkey is safe. But right now in the U.S., there's been a lot of talk of salmonella. In fact, a lot of ground turkey products have been recalled. And so how do you know the turkey you're eating is safe? Well, salmonella is the bacteria that causes food-borne illness or food poisoning, and it is not pleasant, and it can put you in the hospital, and in fact, it can kill some people. So it is important to get turkey well done. The thing to know here is that even though the bacteria may be in your food, if you cook it well, if it's cooked all the way through, we're going to talk about that in just a second, then you don't need to worry. You're not going to get sick, especially if you store it correctly and again, if you cook it correctly. So before we get started on that, if you're new to the channel, please be sure and subscribe and share this video with your friends and relatives, because we're going to give you some really great tips on how to stay safe and healthy eating turkey and any other kind of meat that you might be making as we move through the holiday season. So save this one for sure for future reference, and let's get started. So let's talk about that. Turkey, raw turkey. The first thing we want to do is make sure it is thawed correctly, which is 4 to 5 pounds a day gets thawed. So if you've got a 20-pound turkey, you can count on it taking about 4 days in the refrigerator to thoroughly thaw out. The reason it's so important that a turkey is thawed all the way through is that the internal temperature has to get to 165 degrees. If it doesn't, that bacteria doesn't get killed, and it can multiply, especially as the food becomes cooler or is stored. So if the internal parts of the turkey are frozen and they go into your oven, no matter how you cook it, then it's going to take a lot longer and a lot more heat to get that internal part thawed the rest of the way in the oven and then cooked thoroughly. So you can really miss getting that turkey done all the way through if it is not correctly thawed. So that's number one. Number two is just as important, and that's how you prepare the turkey. And that is, after you're rinsing the turkey, that you keep it in the sink. You don't move it around the kitchen, because all of that juice has that bacteria in it, and the bacteria can live for several days on surfaces. So if you get some of that bacteria on your countertops and you don't clean them, your little kids could come in there and touch it, you could touch it, then touch food, and again, everyone gets sick. So keeping the prep area very contained is very, very important. The third thing is making sure that utensils and plates, that you use the same ones for that turkey to prepare it, and then they go in the dishwasher or they get washed. Knives, cutting boards, I recommend glass. Wood will absorb some of that salmonella bacteria, and if you don't wash the wood or bleach it, then guess what? You've got live bacteria on your cutting boards where you're cutting vegetables. So again, really, really important to minimize the travel of the juice of the raw turkey. Very, very important. Next, it's really, really important to make sure we cook the turkey thoroughly, which means 165 internal meat temperature. And you need to buy a meat thermometer, folks. Don't, the little pop-out thing that's in the breast of the turkey, okay, it's gonna pop out. Yeah, it's kind of a strange thing, but if you buy most turkeys now, they have that little gadget that's supposed to tell you when the turkey's done. Well, that's not very reliable because it's just in the breast. You actually need to check a turkey's temperature in 3 places. One in the thickest part of the breast, where that piece of plastic usually is. Then inside the wing area, the internal wing area between the wing and the breast. Then you need to check the thickest part of the thigh where it attaches to the turkey breast itself. So you want to make sure you check at 3 different places to make sure that internal temperature is 165 degrees. If it's not, it's not done. And that doesn't matter how you cook it. Some people roast a turkey, some people brine it first, some people put it in a bag like I do and cook it till it just falls apart. It's really ugly, but I know it's done and it's delicious. But whatever you do, make sure the meat temperature is 165 degrees. Very, very, very important. You don't want to make people sick. The other thing is making sure that you store the turkey correctly, that you remove the breastbone where a lot of that bacteria tends to hide. You've probably heard about that, where the wishbone is. The middle breastbone needs to come out and be tossed away as soon as you go to serve the turkey. Throw that away. You don't even want to store that in the refrigerator, because people have gotten sick with that bone staying in there, because that, again, the salmonella wasn't killed. The bacteria was not killed all the way through. The last thing I want to talk about is the dressing or stuffing that you make. Now, years ago, I stopped putting that in a turkey or even around a turkey. I cook it separately, but if you're going to cook it with the turkey, place it around the sides of the turkey so that it does not stay inside the cavity. Again, anything that keeps that internal cavity of the turkey not reaching that temperature is a harbinger for bacteria and needs to be very, very dangerous. So enjoy your turkey, enjoy your Thanksgiving, and don't get sick. No one wants to be sick on a holiday. So turkey is a delicious thing to have this time of year, and it's traditional, I get it. Just make sure you're safe and that you do what you need to do to make sure it's cooked well and stay well. So happy Thanksgiving from me here in the US and to all my friends and family, and hope that you have a great one. I am personally having a different type of turkey this year. I am going to be traveling to Fort Lauderdale, so I'm going to be in the sun and the fun for Thanksgiving. So no matter where you're traveling to, maybe with family or friends, enjoy your Thanksgiving this year. Stay safe, stay well, and I will be back next week with a ton of new stuff. Oh, and before I forget, there are a couple of links that I want you to have for food safety, which is foodsafety.gov, and then there's an 800 number that will be right here on the screen for you to call if you have questions about how to cook a turkey thoroughly, and all of this information will be in the video description box. So again, have a great holiday, and we'll talk soon.